Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi, I'm Pip McKay and welcome to Evolve Now, where we look at the mindset and emotional intelligence that allows you to create success and happiness. Now, what we're going to be covering today is the 4-step formula for coaching yourself to success. So what we're going to cover is the coaching mindset that stops problems in their tracks, a simple blueprint for coaching yourself and others, why coaching is the new leadership style and why it works, why coaching is a powerful sales tool that you will love, how coaching is the best way to solve any problem you face, how to use coaching as a motivation strategy for your teams, a brand new way to goal set using a simple coaching formula, and finally, how to connect your goals and your highest ideals and values. Now let's get started. So what exactly is coaching? You may have heard of coaching, you may even be a coach. But for many people, they're sort of wondering, what is this new coaching that seems to be around all of the corporate area and also obviously in lots of other businesses and in personal training evening? Suddenly there's this concept of coaching rather than simply directing people. So what is coaching exactly? It's a structured approach that makes it easier to solve problems, clear blocks to success, and get results. So with the right mindset, creative solutions can be found. And what we find is that a lot of people spend a lot of time thinking about their problem. And that goes round and round and round in a circle. And they're not thinking about what they would want instead. So it's not easy for them to move from the problem to the solution. And then there's other people who are thinking about what they want, but they've got no bridge between where they are now and what they want. And coaching really is a fantastic, very simple formula that allows you to move from where you are now to what you want and overcome any blocks to your success. So if we look at it diagrammatically, here's the present state, so whatever problem you might be facing, but it might not even be a problem. It might simply be where you are now in business, or where you are now in your love life, or where you are now in your health. And then with coaching, you get to think about, well, where would I like to be? What would I like my business to be like? What would I like my relationships to be like? What would I like my health and fitness to be like? And we find that really you don't know what direction you're going in unless you can actually define that and define that clearly. And obviously, just like having a map, if you don't know where you're going, it doesn't make it easy to get there. But if you know where you're going and you've got a map, then it makes it a lot easier to get there. Now, what happens for a lot of people is they've got a problem in their present state because there's some kind of block that's preventing them getting from where they are now to where they want to be. Now, sometimes people aren't even really aware of that block. It might be something emotional or unconscious that's preventing them. But for many people, they actually do know, oh yes, it's because I don't find exercise very interesting, or it's because I have a belief that I'm never going to find the right person for me. Or it might be something like, oh, I'm scared of business because my father went into business and went bankrupt, so I know I've got a block there. So sometimes the blocks are clear and we know what they are, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes we just need to ask the question, well, what prevents you? What prevents you from moving from your present state to your desired state? What's stopping you? And then the final question is, what can I do to overcome what prevents me? What can I do to overcome the block? And so I think this diagram is a really great way of seeing it. Your present state, desired state, you've got your block, and then a coaching model is going to help you move from the present state to the desired state. So a great friend of mine, Michelle Duval, who's a real pioneer in the coaching field, she talks about the facilitation process. So facilitate comes from the word facile, which means to make easy. So basically coaching makes it easier for us to move from the present state, overcome our obstacle, and move into the desired state. So what I want to introduce you to now is a coaching process that I've created, and it's called Your Quest. And this coaching process solves some of the problems, because you might be thinking, yes, but I don't really know what I want. So how can I discover what I want if I don't know what I really want at the moment? And so Your Quest is quite a sophisticated coaching model that solves some of the problems people face with the more simple model. Now, any coaching process that follows the model that I talked about before, we can classify as coaching. So if you want to create your own process, you want to make sure that it's still going from present state to desired state to obstacle and overcome, and you can create a process that really is a coaching process. So this is a sophisticated tool, and it solves the problems of, what do I really want? How can I discover and define what I really want? Which for some people in coaching, it's like, I don't know. So this process helps you discover that. Secondly, it makes sure that your goals are attached to what you really want. So sometimes people will set a goal, and it might be a financial goal. Oh, I want to earn per year this amount of money. But they haven't attached that money to something that they really want. They've just gone, oh, well, society says I should be making a certain amount of money, so now I've chosen that amount of money. But if you know why you want that money, what is it you think that money will give you? Do you think it's going to give you freedom? Do you think it's going to give you choices? Do you think that it's going to give you more time off? Then what's great about that is you want to make sure that when you're making that money, that it is attached to making sure you've got more time off. Because some people will set a goal of having more finances and find that their greatest value, like freedom, is actually taken away as they become a workaholic to achieve this goal. So then really it hasn't overcome the real problem that the person faces, and it hasn't really given them what they really want. Because sometimes people can get a goal and find out later that the goal hasn't given them what they expected it to. So the wonderful thing about the Your Quest coaching process is it ensures that the goal you set is really attached to your highest values, or what we call ideals. It also ensures motivation. So if you have this idea that I want to get fit, but fitness isn't very important to you, if you have a goal like, well, I'll have more energy, if that's an ideal for you, that energy is really important to you, and you can attach fitness to the idea of having more energy, then you're far more likely to be motivated towards the goal. And you're far more likely to overcome the obstacle that in the short term you might actually have less energy when you've been to the gym until you get fit, because you know in the long term you're going to have more energy. So it's really important that your goal really satisfies a higher value or a higher ideal that's actually important to you. Otherwise, you're going to lose motivation. So this is one of the problems that people have when the leader of the team has set the goal. And the people in the team aren't really that interested in the goal. Then the leader has to constantly be motivating that team member in order to get the goal. But if you can find, well, this goal can connect to something that that person finds really important or is a high value to the team member, then you don't have to keep motivating the team all the time, because they'll be self-motivated. So this is where this Your Quest coaching process can really help us in teams as well as you as an individual. So let's look at how it starts. So basically the Your Quest process, if we were going to do it in this particular area of life, such as business, what you'd do is you would start off by brainstorming all the things that are really important to you in business, but not just important, but ideal for you in business. So the question that you ask yourself is, what would my ideal business look like? What would it give me? What are the values or the qualities that it would give me? So for me in business, it would really be important that I felt that the business gave me freedom. So if I felt trapped doing the same thing over and over again, that would not be an ideal business to me. But if I felt free to make decisions about new things and new ideas, then that would be really important to me in business. I would also need a business that was creative. So, there's many businesses I could have done that would have been quite easy to do and I would have been able to do it, but I wouldn't have been motivated in a business like that, particularly businesses that are repeating the same old thing over and over again. That wouldn't excite me, so I wouldn't be motivated. So here what we're doing, and it doesn't matter whether you think your business can ever give you these things, it's just a matter of brainstorming all the possibilities of what would be ideal for you in business, and we're talking about higher values. So that is things like freedom. You can say money, even though money's not really a value, but it is really important in business. When you do this brainstorm in business and money or financial abundance or something that is related to money is not a part of your business, that means that you've got a negative belief attached to money. And it's really important to put it in there because after all, if your business can't make money, it's not a business at all. It's just a charity. And you might as well get the tax break from a charity and set that up instead. So we need to make sure that a business allows there to be making money. Otherwise, it's not really a business. So that's the first thing you do. You brainstorm all your ideals. Then the next thing you look at is you're going to now list down here which of those ideals was the most important, and then what's the next most important, and so on and so forth down here. Now, in this particular process, which is your number 1 and which is your number 10 is not really all that important. There are other processes where that is really important, the order, but not in this particular process. So write them all down there and have a bit of an idea. Now, if money isn't not part of your top 10, then I might just put a little 11 in there and put money or financial success or financial abundance in there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to plot your scores. So, say down the side you had, for instance, freedom. Now you're going to look at your current situation. So now we're looking at the present state. You're going to look at your current situation. You're going to think, inside the business I currently have, do I feel free? And if you don't feel free, then you'd put a 0. If you felt trapped and burdened by your business, well, then that'd be a 0. If you felt, yep, I can do whatever I want in my business, that's a very high value, and my business allows me to do that, then you would put a 10. And then there would be anything in between. So if you sort of feel like, oh, well, it kind of gives me freedom and it kind of doesn't, sometimes I feel trapped, sometimes I feel free, then you might put a 5. And then you do it for all the other ones that are down there. So you're starting to plot that. So it might look like something like this. So these are some of my highest ideals in business. So pioneering is very important to me. And say in my business, if I was kind of like okay with that, but not really fantastic, it would be, well, a 7. That's a pretty good score. And then if we look at freedom and say in my business was only at a 1, well, then my business wouldn't really be helping me be free. But you would plot all of these things against here and give them a score out of 10. So is everybody clear about that and what you're doing? And if you're at home right now, you could take any area of your life. So maybe it is relationships. And say you don't have a relationship yet. I know that a lot of people say, write down everything you want in a man. But what if you write down...
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.